Black Politics, Chapter 12, read by Arthur Rashida Brown. In excuse any background noise. It is loud over here. I can't do anything about the neighbors. But anyways, let's get into Chapter 12. Can I have everyone's attention? Adara said. All the kitchen staff focuses their attention on Adara. Look, tonight's event, like every other event, is important, and we mustn't mess up. There's some important people out there tonight, and we need more contracts. So believe me when I say you don't want to mess this up because all of our livelihood depends on it. Besides, we need as many contracts as we can get to help support our other business and ventures. So let's go out there and show these people what we're made of. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please go to my mom, Mary, and she can help you. Adara said, pointing to her mom. Everybody nodded their head and smiled, going back to their workstation. Adara stepped out back to make a phone call. Yeah, what's up? The man on the other end of the phone said. Is everything set? Is everything to set? Is everything to set in place? Adara asked. Yes, we got everything taken care of on our end. I'll let you know if we need anything else or if any problem comes up, the man said. Okay, great, bye, Adara said, hanging up the phone and walking back into the building. Adara did her final walk through the building to ensure everything was done correctly before the guests arrived. About 30 minutes have gone past and the guests have finally started to come. Adara stood by the door entrance to greet all the guests. It was a mixed crowd tonight, unlike her last event. A lot of African descent people and Latinos were there. Adara continued to greet the guests until everyone was seated. Then she joined them, she and Abaddon as her date, and took their seats in the back. Miss Curl invited her to personally come to the event, not just as an event planner. Adara didn't know why she wanted her there, but Miss Curl insisted that she be there. Hello, how is everyone tonight? Some European lady said, standing on the stage. We would like to thank you all for attending tonight's event. This event means so much to Miss Curl and Governor Howard. They wanted to do something for those who don't have the same advantage as we do. Tonight's event is about black and brown children who live in impoverished conditions. We want to give them the same advantage as other children have in wealthy neighborhoods. So we created this program that we will provide them with the skills they need to advance in this world and allow them to see how it feels to be on the other side. Well, I know you all didn't come here to hear me talk, so without any further ado, I give you the host tonight, Miss Curl, the lady announced. Everybody stood to their feet, clapping their hands as Miss Curl walked on the stage. The other side. What does she mean by that? The dog whispered in Abaddon's ear. He shrugged his shoulder. I guess we're about to find out, Abaddon said. Yeah, I guess we are, Adara agreed. The clapping comes to an end and everyone retook their seats. Thank you, you're all too kind, Miss Curl said. I won't stand before you too long. I know we all came here to enjoy ourselves. So, like Catherine was saying, this program is targeted at black and brown children. But of course, any other group of children are welcome to come. We want them all. But black and brown children are just our main priority because, let's face it, they don't get the same treatment as other kids. So we wanted to do something special just for them. I'm sure you all have seen our donation request, Miss Curl said, chuckling. The crowd also laughed, looking at one another, nodding their heads. Well, we're asking for a high amount because we will have a building built like a university where the kids will live on campus, they will go to school, trips, and so on together. Then, during summertime, holiday breaks, and weekends, they will go home. So, we want to take control of our next leaders, doctors, teachers, or whatever they want to be and train them how to live in this society. Miss Carroll said, bringing her speech to an end. So, I have one more person I would like to bring up before the fun begins. Adara, can you please come up here? Miss Carroll said. Adara looked at Abaddon, and he just shrugged his shoulders. If you don't mind, can you please join me? Miss Carroll requested. Adara walked up towards the stage with her eyes focused on Miss Curl the whole time. She stands beside Miss Curl on the stage, trying to figure out why she was up there. Adara here is responsible for this wonderful event here. Everyone clapped their hands. Adara gently smiled and bowed her head. Adara is a woman with many talents and passions. She inspired me to make a change and to think outside of the box. She made me think about giving kids like Sean Jones a better chance at life, Miss Carroll said, smiling at Adara. Adara just kept looking out at the crowd. You see, Adara is also the Black Politics Group leader, and she is responsible for the event that was held not too long ago. So I wanted to bring her up here to thank her personally for her contribution to this world, Miss Carroll said, stepping back, clapping. People stood to their feet, clapping, and some were whispering to each other. People were confused as to why exactly Miss Carroll brought her up there, but Adara knew precisely why. She was trying to sabotage her business. Adara smiled and walked off the stage with Miss Carroll following behind her. The music had started playing and the workers were walking through, passing out drinks. Everybody was socializing with each other, but as Adara was walking back to Abaddon, she could feel the tension from some of the guests as they stared and whispered as she walked by. What the hell was that? Abaddon said. Her way of telling people not to work with me, Adara answered. So what do we do now? Abaddon asked. We stick to the plan. I'm sure not everyone in here is all Team Curl, Adara said. I like how you think, Abaddon commented, grinning at Adara, grabbing himself a glass of wine. Adara, is it? A tall black woman said. Yeah, that's me, and you are? Adara said, facing the woman. Tanya Jefferson, the lady said, extending her hand out to Adara. Nice to meet you, Miss Jefferson. Look, don't worry about Curl. You're not the first person she has tried to shame and definitely won't be the last, Tanya said, sipping her wine. Don't let her get to you. I think it was great what you did and don't see any problem with it. It's a contradiction on her part, though, like how you host an event to raise money for your project for black and brown kids, then try to nicely shame a woman who did an event for a black boy, Tanya said. So can I ask you a question? Adara said. Sure, go for it, Tanya said. If you know what type of person she is, why show up at this event? If you don't support her or her work, why would you come here? Why would you come? Adar asked. I'm just playing the game, Tanya answered, taking another sip of wine. Playing the game? What does that mean? Adar asked. It means I'm doing what I got to do to survive. Sometimes you must do things in life to get what you want, but then you must figure out if that small sacrifice is worth trying to accomplish whatever it is you want. Like, what harm is it doing to me to show up tonight, to put on a fake smile and socialize with a few people? If that's all I got to do to be able to provide for my family and do what I love, I'm with it. Now let me ask you a question. Why are you here? I mean, I know you host the event, but why are you here as a guest? Tanya asked. Adara paused for a moment, looking at Tanya. Well, I guess like you, I didn't have a choice. It was either come and keep my contract with her and provide for my people, or I could have stayed home and had all of the amazing people be out of a job, Adara confessed. Exactly. We all have to make sacrifices. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's for the greater good, Tanya said. Adara nodded her head and smiled. Well, it was nice talking to you. And remember what I said. Now I gotta go make some sacrifices. Lighten up. Everybody here is not who you think they are, Tanya said, walking off, grabbing her another drink. Adar and Abaddon went around socializing with the guests. Adar was surprised by knew how many people she met. She had some great conversations that night and some not so great. The event was coming to an end and Miss Curl was going around making her last rounds to squeeze money out of people. Adara went to find her mom, who was in the kitchen wrapping up leftovers. Hey, Mom, thank you. You and the team did an amazing job as always, Adara said, hugging her mother. Oh, thank you, baby. So how did it go out there? I see the way that lady called you on the stage. I started to go out there and drag her right off of her. Nobody treats my baby like that, Mary said. Adara giggled. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Although I wouldn't mind seeing that, Adara admitted, bursting out laughing. I know, right? It would have been WWE SmackDown in here, Mary joked. Well, I'm going to head home. I got work to do for the organization. The leftover food can be dropped off at the shelter tonight. I already let the lady know somebody will be by to drop it off. You got everything covered here? Adara asked. Yes, I got it. Go home and get you some rest, Mary said. Adara said her goodbyes to the staff, and she had Abaddon drop her off at home. It's been a few days since Adara and the team has talked to Miss Jones. She has finally got settled in her new home. It's not in the neighborhood she wanted to stay in, but she had trouble finding a place. Many landlords rejected her. Let's just say the chief had many connections. Miss Jones get up to a knock at her door. Who is it? She called. It's Carol Howard, Miss Carol said. Carol Howard? What the hell does she want? Miss Jones mumbled under her breath. She cracked the door open. Can I help you? Miss Jones said in a firm tone. I'm sorry to drop by unannounced. I didn't have a way of getting in contact with you. I tried calling your phone, but your cell phone was disconnected, Miss Carroll said, standing in the doorway, grinning. I changed my number. So you are here now. How can I help you? Miss Jones asked again. Is there a way that maybe I can come in so we can talk? It's kind of hard talking through the door, Miss Carroll said. We're doing just fine to me, Miss Jones said. Please, I just want to talk, Miss Carroll insisted. Miss Jones slowly slid the door back. Come on in, Miss Jones said. Walking to the couch, Miss Carroll tried to shut the door behind her. No, you don't. Leave that door open. I don't trust you, Miss Jones said. Fine. May I sit? Miss Carroll said. I suppose, Miss Jones said, pointing to the couch. Look, I think we got out to a bad start. I didn't mean to scare you or offend you in any way. I should have handled things better, and I apologize for that. Instead of sending Adara over here to talk to you, it should have been me. What happened to Sean is heartbreaking, and I cannot begin to imagine what you're going through as a mother. I decided to start a program for black and brown children, and I want Sean to be the face of it. So I came over here with my offer again, but I think you will like this one. This time, Miss Carroll said, handing Miss Jones a package. We are offering Sean a full-time scholarship to any school he wants to attend. He will be the face of this new program. We also have a settlement for $1 million and have agreed to place you in a new home of your own. Miss Carroll added, grinning. Miss Jones continued to read through the package. Look, I know this is a tough decision to make, but if you go to trial, you won't get a better offer than this. You will be in debt with all the legal fees. This is your best option, Miss Carroll said, placing her hand on Miss Jones' leg. Miss Jones looked down at Miss Carroll's hand on her leg and looked back up at Miss Carroll, mugging her. Miss Carroll quickly pulled her hand back. Sorry, Miss Carroll apologized. And what about the officer involved? Miss Jones asked. They will be fired with pay, but they will be off the streets, Miss Carroll replied. Fired with pay, so they won't be charged, Miss Jones asked. Charged with what? Look, this type of mistake happens all the time. And thank God Sean survived it. The officers deeply regret how they handle things. Not being able to do what they love is punishment to them. There's no need to take these men away from their family because of some mistake, Miss Carroll said. Mistake? You call my son almost dying a mistake? You called an officer firing off bullets in my baby's body while he was having a seizure a mistake? Get out of my house, Miss Jones ordered, standing to her feet. Miss Carroll jumps up, walking towards the door. Miss Jones handed her the package back. You can take this and get out of my house, Miss Jones told her. I think you're making a big mistake. I don't think you get it. You either take what I'm offering or walk away with nothing. We will win. You think you are suffering now. Oh, you don't want to mess with me. I'll see to it that you never work again and your son will forever be stuck right here in the ghetto. Or I could just have your kids taken seeing that you're unfit to be a mother, Miss Carroll threatened, shoving the package back into Miss Jones' hand. Be a good mother and make the right choice. Your family life depends on it, Miss Carroll said, walking out the door. Miss Jones watched as Miss Carroll drove away. Oh, Lord, what am I going to do? Miss Jones said, pacing the floor. Miss Jones grabbed her purse and car keys. She hopped in the car and sped out of the driveway, almost hitting the car. I can't let them take my babies, Miss Jones said, sobbing. These people are the devil, and I don't want no parts with them. She continued to drive, talking to herself until she reached Adara's building. She left the car running and grabbed the package, heading straight into the building. Excuse me, ma'am. You can't just walk back there, Lydia protested. Miss Jones didn't pay her any mind. She walked right into the conference room. Adara and her team were in the middle of their morning meeting before she busted in. Miss Jones threw the package on the table. I'm out, Miss Jones said. Sorry, I tried to stop her, Lydia said. It's okay, Adara says. What happened? What's going on, Miss Jones? You want to sit down and talk about it? Adara said. No, I'm done talking about it. I just want it to be over. I can't let her take my kids, Miss Jones said, sobbing. Who's trying to take your kids? Adara asked. Carol, that's who, Miss Jones answered. What? why would Curl be trying to take your kids? Adara asked. She came by my house this morning and said if I didn't take the deal, she would have my kids taken. I can't lose my kids. I just can't. I won't. Miss Jones said desperately. I won't let that happen, Adara assured her. Well, you can't promise that, can you? Miss Jones challenged. Adara just looked at Miss Jones. That's what I thought. I'm out, Miss Jones said, rushing out of the office. Adara turned around and looked at everyone. This woman just doesn't stop. Well, she wants war. I'll give her war, Adara said, walking out, walking to her office. The end of chapter 12.